few years ago, people who recognized the growing trend of people promoting themselves as victims in order to gain special privileges came up with a term. That term was Oppression Olympics. I am more of a victim than you, so I get more goodies. But I imagine that even those who recognized what was happening and had an idea of where things were heading couldn't have predicted that just a few years down the road, this would be featured in an opening to an actual Olympics Games. I can't show you any footage from this public display and promotion of degeneracy. Many independent content creators that included footage of the opening ceremony of the Paris Olympic Games have had their videos flagged for copyright breaches. Still images are apparently still permitted. The backlash was monumental, epic. People from countries all over the world united in one voice and said, "This is not okay. This is disgusting and unacceptable. We don't like this." There hasn't been much of an opposition to that criticism, no major vocal support of what took place during that opening ceremony from the usual woke suspects. On social media sites, it's all been very one-sided. The number of people who openly criticised the ceremony and rightfully described how disgusting and inappropriate it was is so large that it probably acted as a deterrent against people voicing their approval. Anyone who liked that ceremony and what took place, any woke progressives or members of the alphabet community who thought that what took place was fine, were fully aware that they were greatly outnumbered and they kept quiet. It wasn't just people of different nationalities, it was people of different religions. The comment sections featured multiple examples of people stating that they were Hindu or Muslim, even atheist, and they all agreed that drag queens recreating the Last Supper was disgusting, unacceptable, and an obvious attempt to mock Christians and Christianity. Some in the media attempted to gaslight the public into thinking that the drag queens weren't really recreating the Last Supper. No, that was a misinterpretation by those crazy, oversensitive Christians and those right-wingers. It was really a portrayal of the Feast of the Gods. How interesting. In that case, one may ask why the fat woman, centered in the middle, resembling Jesus, stated on her social media, oh yes, the New Gay Testament." The public didn't swallow it, and the backlash went on and on. The organisers were forced to give a press conference. Anne Deschamps, a spokesperson for the Paris Olympics, said that it was never an intention to show disrespect to any religious group.
Clearly, there was never an intention to show disrespect to any religious group. On the contrary, I think that Thomas Joly really tried to really intend to celebrate community tolerance. If people have taken any offense, we are of course really sorry.
If people have taken any offense, we are of course really sorry. Pay close attention to the words that she used. What she gave was a cleverly structured example of what is known as a non-apology. She did not apologize for doing the thing that caused such a huge negative response. She only apologized if people had taken offense. She did not acknowledge that what they did was wrong. There was no assurance that they would not do the same thing in the future. Thomas Joly, the creative director, claimed that he did not intend to mock.
Ma volonté n'est pas d'être subversif, ni de me moquer, ni de choquer.
And if you believe that, I have a bridge to sell you. There were inclusive ideas. How long until this buzzword loses its currency? It doesn't mean anything. We all know that those who use the term inclusive don't actually believe in inclusivity because they are happy to exclude those that they disagree with. Inclusivity. Part of the unholy trinity, along with diversity and equity, something that BlackRock is forcing on the corporate world, and something that many people are regurgitating without actually knowing what it refers to. Empty virtue signaling. Inclusive. Well, they certainly thought it was fine to include children in these performances. Get them while they're young, right?
No, Daddy's grooming him.
Grooming him, eh?
Normalize it for them. so that they grow up thinking that this behavior is normal, perfectly fine. Then, something fantastic happened. The Olympics made the decision to remove all of the footage of the drag queen Last Supper from their social media channels. People were realizing how many others agreed with them, and that they were not alone in thinking that what took place was not good, not acceptable. Maybe after years of being the silent majority, they were finally pushed too far and decided to finally say what they really thought. This is the result. The Olympics threw in the towel and removed the video. This is what happens when people have the courage to say what they really think, when they refuse to be intimidated by woke mobsters, tyrants, and their shallow accusations of hateful, bigot, homophobe, transphobe, intolerant. These words were used as weapons to silence people for a long time in order for the far left to seize the cultural and political territory. You must laugh at the irony. Those who claim to be inclusive and tolerant and in favor of diversity demand that you use their special pronouns out of respect, while simultaneously expecting you to keep your mouth shut when they openly mock a near 2,000-year-old religion that has more meaning and truth and depth than they could comprehend, even if they attended 1 million drag queen story times. And as many people in various comment sections have said, the organizers of that opening ceremony wouldn't have dared mock Islam. Andrew Tate, a Muslim, was vocal about this. He threw down the challenge for Christians to stop turning the other cheek while their religion is being mocked and these people are given free rein to do whatever they want. The pendulum can only swing so far until it swings back. You can only pull an elastic band so far before it eventually snaps and strikes your hand. This was by far the worst opening ceremony to an Olympic Games ever. More DEI propaganda, nothing more than a social engineering exercise. Well done to those who spoke against it. Maybe you were too afraid to speak before, when you saw society degenerating in front of your eyes, but eventually you found your courage. Well done. Welcome to the culture war that the media tells you doesn't exist. It's good to have you here. God knows we need more soldiers and more speakers of truth. And we haven't even started to speak about the policies that the Olympics put in place for competitors yet.